Hello and welcome back to Every Mom's Hub. My name is Jabaki, and if this is the first time you're joining me on this channel, you are most welcome. And if you are a returning subscriber, we so much appreciate you. So today we have a wonderful discussion. Many of us come to the UK with children, and many times we don't know much about safeguarding children or child protection when it comes to the laws of UK. Okay, so today I just want us to have a discussion with a qualified social worker and practice educator who is going to tell us more about child protection when it comes to the UK law regarding that. And we really don't want the social services on our backs as, immigrants. So the best we can do is to know the laws of the land, know how things are done over here in the UK so that we do not get into trouble with the law. So just as I said, today I have with me here a qualified social worker. She is in the best position to let us know more about child protection and safeguarding in the UK. So I have with me here today Queenie V, and she will let us know more about social services in the UK. You are welcome, Queenie V, to Every Mom's Hub.
Thanks for having me.
You're
And
welcome.
I feel very appreciated and I feel very honored to give me this opportunity to come and share ideas with people who have subscribed to your channel and
Right.
even people who are yet to subscribe to your channel. Yeah.
All right. So I want to know, are social services for or against parents, African parents to be specific?
I would say no, definitely no.
Mhm,
Children's services are not against parents. We are not
mhm.
working against parents. As a matter of fact, we are working with parents and
Right.
we are working for the focus. Our priority is to support and guide and reduce risk to
Okay.
children. Yeah, so we definitely know working against parents, but we are
Great.
working with parents to promote the welfare of children.
Okay. So, what are some of your duties as a social worker, or what are some of the duties of social workers in the UK?
So with children's services here in UK is divided into two for the benefit of those who will be watching us from Ghana or Nigeria or other parts
Mhm,
of the world and they don't know the system here. When you
mhm.
talk about social care in UK, it's divided into adult services and children's services. And social workers here in the UK, either you work within the adult services and work for vulnerable adults, or you work within the children's services and work with vulnerable children. And so the role is different depending on the team that you work in. Even
Oh,
within the children's services, there are different teams within children's services. And to sum it up, we have the assessment team, we have the some local authority has split it into the core team as well. We have the safeguarding team, we have the children in care team, we have the living care team. So depending on the team that you work in, then you will define your role. But in a nutshell, every social worker here, the focus is about safety for children. The focus is about supporting the vulnerable children in society here in UK. It's about reducing risk. That is
mhm.
our role. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. So, we would actually focus on children for today. And we know that some African parents, and I'm talking about Africa because that is the community that we find ourselves in, and we've heard that some of them have had their children being taken away from them, which is a very serious issue, okay, something of great concern to us as parents and then also as Africans in the UK here. So, why is this the issue? What usually happens before you say that, okay, we are taking a child away from their parents?
I want to make it clear, to be honest
Right,
with you, because obviously I'm also on TikTok. I do videos on TikTok. I'm on YouTube as well.
right.
And some of the comment that I receive majority of the time is that children's services, social workers will take children away. Children's services, we are children snatchers. That's some of the
Mm.
comments that I get from people
Mm.
who watching my videos. But
Mhm.
to be honest with you, social workers, we are not children snatchers. Social
Right.
workers, we are not here to take anybody's child away. We are
Mhm.
here to assist and support. Yeah,
Great.
but then obviously, when there are significant concerns, when there are worries, and
Mhm.
that's when we get involved. So
Right.
I will talk about, I'll put some note down just to help myself out if you ask me something about child protection. So
Okay.
we work within the remit of the law. We work
Mhm.
within the remit of the legislations, policies, and procedures that are governing the UK here. So the Children Act 1989 is the bedrock of children's services. And we have updated version. Obviously, we have the Children and Social Care Act 2017. I don't want to bore anyone with the legislation,
Mhm.
but that is the remit of our role responsibility. So Section 17 of the Children Act is talk about children in need.
Okay.
So that is why we come in. If a child is in need of support, if a child is in need of services, then children's services will get involved with the
Mhm.
family. When a child in need is someone with that support from the local government, will be a vulnerable child.
Okay.
So if we don't come in, the child is going to be vulnerable. So we come
Mhm.
in and we do an assessment. And but then unfortunately, some people, I'm not saying everyone, some parents, like say from Ghanaian community, when they see that a social worker or the school have made a referral about my child, and then they start panicking. My advice to anyone, if children's services or a social worker is comes and getting involved, or a referral has been received about your child, say from the school, don't panic. They are there to do an assessment. That's
Okay.
one of the responsibilities and the role of a social worker. Like I
Mhm.
said about Section 17, we need to provide support and services to children who are deemed to be vulnerable. Yeah,
Okay.
and then we have Section 47 of the Children Act as well. Children's services is a duty for us to investigate. We have
Okay.
to do our investigation. And how do you investigate? You investigate by doing assessment. So when a social worker comes into your life, first of all, we have to do an assessment. With that assessment, we cannot draw into conclusion. The
Mhm.
reason why children's social workers we get involved in the children in the lives of family, we don't go and then we are knocking here in UK, knocking at people's door to check children who are being abused, children who are being neglected. No, that is not how the system works here in UK. The only
Mhm.
reason why a family will be involved in children's services when a referral is received. And referral can be received from school, from the police. Even your neighbor can make a referral to children's services.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Mm. Mm.
It's a, everyone can make a referral, but when the referral is received, it goes to the MASH team. There is a team within every local authority. It's called
Mhm.
the MASH team. So the MASH team will filter through the referral, read through whether it meets the threshold.
Okay.
So if the threshold is not met, sometimes they will close the case. They will not even get involved. So
Okay.
if a social worker is involved in the lives of a family, it means that the threshold has been met.
Mm.
That's why
Okay.
they will, in the Section 47 of the Children Access, we need to investigate. You need to
Right.
carry out an assessment. So please, I will advise my fellow Ghanaians, people who have come here, migrants who have come here into UK, and maybe perhaps the school have made a referral about your child. They are only doing their investigation. Allow them to do the investigation. So
Mm.
once they do the investigation, they do the assessment, and they feels that this case needs to be closed, they will close the case. But unfortunately, if the harm is so significant, they cannot go away, because the law says that we need to protect children. If we don't come
Right.
in, the children will be vulnerable,
Mhm.
abuse, neglect, and the list goes on. So
Agree.
the investigation is for you to, my advice to parents as well, work with the social worker. If they are
Mm.
doing the investigation, work with them, provide the information, be honest with the social workers, and let them offer support and advice and services to you. Social
Right.
workers are not there to scare you, divide your family, and take your children away.
Mhm.
honestly. They are there to help and guide. But if the threshold is met, unfortunately, then they have to intervene.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, Queenie V. We are really learning a lot. So I want to know that what are some of the things that we do as African parents? Okay, we are here to learn. My viewers, we are here to learn, and Queenie V is here to actually sort of make us know the things that we need to know under the UK law when it comes to this child safeguarding. So, Queenie, I just want to know that what are some of the things that we do as African parents? Can you name some of them that may bring in the social services? Okay, obviously we do things differently back home in Africa. Okay, when it comes to child training, when it comes to how we take care of our children, things are done very differently back home in Africa, and it really doesn't get us into any form of trouble. But when we come here to the UK and we do those same things, we are in trouble. So can you please tell us
Definitely.
some of those things? Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to be giving a gist of what is happening. Yeah,
Right.
I've worked in the safeguarding team for 2 years, and I've worked in the court team for 2 years. So I've done the safeguarding child protection for 4 years. But I'm going to give a typical example for the benefit and the confidential issues around confidentiality. I'm not mentioning anybody's name,
Right.
but what mostly I know, especially within the Ghanaian community, things that is done in Ghana, unfortunately, you cannot bring it here. If you bring it here, you're going to go against the law will cut you. In this country, it's not like, oh, my sister is a social worker, so if I do something bad, my sister can intervene and then they can close the case. It doesn't happen here. You
Okay,
have
so
to
so
follow
what
the
are some of those things? Can you like mention? I just want us viewers to know, like, what is it? Caning? Is it like
Yeah,
Can
so
you?
the in social work we have something called significant harm. Yeah,
Okay.
significant harm, it could be abuse,
Mhm,
emotional abuse, physical abuse, it could be torture, it could be
mhm,
sexual abuse, and the list go. Domestic violence is caused by emotional abuse to the children. And
mhm,
so the list of it can go on and on. But I know physical chastisement is something that Ghanaians, Africans, sometimes, not every African, not every Ghanaian beat their
mhm.
children. But in Ghana, perhaps is the norm. If a child
Right.
does something, you can just go in, take the belt, take the cane, and you beat the child up. But here in the UK, it's against the law to
Mhm,
be using implement to beat a child.
mhm, mhm.
I was talking to a friend of mine and was saying, do you mean to say that smacking a child is against the law here? I'm not going to say that if you smack a child, if a child is doing something, you want the child's attention, you go and tap the child at the shoulder. Come on, let's go. For example, if you're taking a child to school and he's dragging his feet, tapping the
Mhm,
child and say, come on, let's go. Or a child is doing something and you say the child should stop and he's still not listening to you, and going and tap the child, come on, stop what you are doing. I don't think the children's service social worker will come and take your child
mm,
away just for
mm,
smacking a child. But
mm,
if you are using implement and beat the child, they have parents who are so angry.
mm,
A child has done something later, instead of you to take time and explain the reason why this child has done this, and
mhm.
maybe use a different method of discipline for the
Right.
child,
Right.
maybe
Mhm,
a naughty corner, or taking the games out, or not
right.
allowing the child to watch movie or watch the
Mhm,
TV for some time. That is part of discipline. But for
mhm,
using an implement and beat the child and the bruises everywhere, then the child is suffering emotional abuse, physical abuse, and torture is what you are implementing on this child, and
mm.
it's against the law, unfortunately. I'm going to give a typical example. When I was
Okay.
in the safeguarding team, a family who lives in Ghana, and I know I'm not going to say that every Ghanaian living in Ghana is doing this, but
Right.
it's acceptable to some extent. When a
Mhm,
child does something wrong, you grind a ginger. Yes, definitely. You grind a ginger and you put the ginger in the balm. Yeah.
mhm,
And it's a
mhm.
form of discipline in
Yeah.
Ghana.
Yeah. Yeah.
And not
Yeah. I
every
know.
parent does that. I'm not saying every parent does that,
Yeah.
but
Mhm,
it's
mhm.
something that is also very common
Right.
among the Ghanaians, those who are living in Ghana. And people are bringing it here in Ghana.
Wow. Mhm.
bringing it from Ghana into
To the
UK.
UK. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. I have dealt in such cases when a Ghanaian family, the reason why the child was taken into care was grinding a ginger and putting the ginger in the balm. And the child will go to school and tell the school, and tell the
Exactly.
teachers,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
Tell the teachers that this is what is happening at home.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime I do something, my mom will put ginger in my balm. And they came and investigate. That's why I said Section 47 of the Children Act
Mm-hmm.
1989 says we have to investigate. When a
Right.
referral is received, so the school will do the referral to children's services within the area. Every area in UK have got children's services.
Mm-hmm.
Say Camden local authority in Camden, we have Hackney, we
Right.
have, yeah. So I'm just explaining because people will be watching me from Ghana or other parts of
Yeah.
the
Mm-hmm.
world.
Mm-hmm.
So every area here in UK have got a local authority,
Mm-hmm.
children's services, every area. So within the area when they are concerns, they will send it to the children's services within that area. So the
Okay.
where the family were living, the school send a referral to the children's services, and that's when they were able to pick that referral, screen the
Mm.
referral, and it made the threshold, because this would definitely meet the threshold for children's
Okay.
services to get
Mm-hmm.
involved.
Mm. Mm. Okay. All
So
right.
unfortunately, the family have to put the child onto a child protection plan. So
Mm-hmm.
we have a CP plan, which is child protection plan, and we have a child in need plan, CIN plan.
Mm.
So depending on the risk, depending on the concern, depending on the issue, then determine whether the child will be on the CP plan or will be on the child in need plan.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. So, when you take the child, when it happens that the it gets to the threshold and you have to take the child away, is it temporal or permanent? Is it something that's just for a while, then later on you bring the child back to the parent, or it's permanent? Can you throw more light on that?
I wouldn't be able to say is that when we were taking the children away, definitely we don't. The children's services doesn't want to divide children, a family. That is, to be
Right.
honest with you, that is
Yeah.
our role. Is to children are even the Children Act 1989 says that children are best brought up within the family home environment.
Okay.
So
Mm.
we want
Mm.
to, as much as possible, to
Mhm.
let children live with their family. That is
Okay.
the ultimate goal for every
Exactly.
children's
Exactly.
service in the UK, to
Mhm.
support family. So
Right.
if you
Mm.
remove a child, maybe there has been significant concerns and the child has been removed, they will
Mhm.
work it out to return the child. Rehabilitation plan, part of
That's
their,
good.
yeah,
Mm.
part of the assessment, part of the care plan is rehabilitation to the family home. And even
Okay.
when they remove a child, majority of the time we want to find out who is next of kin. Can an auntie be able to take care of this child? Can a
Okay.
family member be able to take care of this child, rather than
Mm.
moving to the child entirely to a foster placement or to a family they don't even know?
Mm.
Yes,
Mm.
so
Mm.
we are not here to say we're moving your child and never will return this child back to you. But sometimes,
Mm.
occasionally, we don't have a choice. The social worker don't have a choice. They come in,
Mm.
the situation is so difficult for this child, so risky for the social worker to leave the child in this vulnerable situation. Unfortunately, the child will be removed. But if
Okay.
the family have to work with the plan as well, if you want
Mm.
your child to return back to you, obviously they will put a plan in place, a strategic plan, which
Mm.
will reduce the risk. So work with the family, work with
Mm.
the social worker, work with the plan, yeah, and address those concerns. And onto it, there are some family when perhaps you are putting ginger at the as a discipline for your child. You don't know, because that's what you've learned when you were
Mhm.
living
Mhm.
in Ghana. Explain to the social worker and onto it, and find and work with them so they can teach you, give you
Right.
guidance as to how you can give different discipline for your
Mhm.
child, instead of putting this torture on a child because the child has done A, B, and C. You are not happy with his or her behavior and you're using ginger as a form of discipline. No, your child will be
Mm.
taken away, because
Mm. Oh.
it's not acceptable here. Physical chastisement among the Ghanaian community or African community, I think that is more predominant, either
Mm,
physical chastisement, because in
mm,
Ghana, the teachers, when you go to school, they are beating you up, let alone,
mm.
yes, school, they
Yeah,
take
yeah.
a cane. When you are late, they take a cane, they will beat you up. And unfortunately, some parents, they come and they bring it here to UK. It's not acceptable.
Right,
Using
right.
implement and beating a child, getting bruises all over. Children who can go to school with bruises on their body, and what would you expect the school to do? They have to do the referral, because the school also have a responsibility, a duty to protect
Okay.
children who are coming to school. Children will
Mm,
come to school very crying, very, very weepy. Mom and dad has been fighting all day, all night. They couldn't even
mm,
sleep. That is
mm,
domestic violence. That is DV.
mm,
Your
mm.
children witnessing mom and dad fighting impact on their emotional well-being. They can't concentrate at school. They go to school, they are sleepy because the noise of it all, it cannot allow them to sleep.
Okay.
So there
Mm,
are so many instances that will lead a child to become attention of the local authority. But definitely, we are not child snatchers. Social workers, we are not child snatchers. We are there to help the community. We are there to give advice, assist, and support vulnerable children, and work with the parents as much as possible to keep children within the family home. But if it's not practicable and the risk is so high and the child is removed, there's rehabilitation plan as well, where your
mm.
child will return back to you. But definitely, you have to also work with the plan. You need to engage with the plan.
All right. Thank you very much, Queenie V, for this insight into child protection in the UK. So, what is your final word for the viewers today? Final
For me,
words.
for me, we shouldn't be scared of social workers. I know personally, nobody wants, it's like police officers. Who wants a police officer in their lives?
Mm,
Hello, who wants social workers in their life? It's very intruding when somebody coming into your life, telling you what to do, how to live your life, how,
mm,
and telling you this and A, B, and C is what you are doing wrong. I do understand. Hands up, I'm a mother. I know how difficult it is to parent children here in the UK, especially there's no, sometimes African community, you are alone. All your extended family members are in Ghana. Hands up, I know it all is so
mhm,
difficult, but we need to try our best and follow the law here, the
mhm,
legislation, policies, and procedure that is here. If you don't understand, ask the school. Every school, because if you are a parent, your children may go to a nursery, children's center, or it's a school, a primary school or secondary school. Every school have got safeguarding officers in the school. Every
mhm,
school have got child protection officers in the school. So if
mm,
you are concerned, worried about how you are parenting your child, or if a child is demonstrating some unusual behavior and you don't know how you can control it, ask for help. That's
mm,
what I can say. Ask for help. They are there to assist you. They are not there to scare you. They are not there to take your child away. So
mm.
if you don't know the law, if you don't know legislation, policies, ask for information. Yeah, even
Right.
in the library, there's every local area you live have got libraries. The library can give you resources, information relating
Great.
to how you raise children here. Children's centers are all over in all the areas. So ask for help and ask for advice and work with the social workers. I do understand some of my friends. I say, oh, social workers, they don't understand our culture, they don't understand our values and ethics, and they come in and they come there's
All
noise,
right.
there's background
Okay.
noise.
Go ahead. All right. Okay.
Well, I can hear
Go
there's
ahead.
background noise. Yeah. So
Yeah.
they are there. They don't understand my culture. They don't know understand what my background, my values, and they come and they write their report. They are lying in their report. If you think that the lies in the report that social worker is writing about your family, please, there are, every local authority works with, like, there's advocates for your
Mm,
child, so you can ask for advocate to be allocated to your child, so the advocate can go through the assessment with you, the report with you, and advocate on your behalf. Obviously, if the advocate representing your child, is representing you as a parent.
mm,
So
mm,
yeah, so if a social worker is involved, perhaps your child is subject to child protection plan. Ask to get an advocate that can advocate on your behalf. Yeah, so
Right.
if you think, yeah, instead of using violence, there are some family who are using violence, trying to scare the social worker away. Social workers are not going to get out of your life, your family life, for being
Mm.
violent, for being aggressive. So it's better to work with them. There's a lot of background noise where you are
Sorry about
saying,
that. Sorry about that. Go
okay.
ahead.
Yeah, so it's better to work with the family. It's better to work with the social workers instead of being violent, being aggressive, because they're not gonna go away being aggressive. They're not gonna go away being violent. Work with the child protection plan. If you don't understand anything, ask to have an advocate, so advocate can represent you. Advocate can represent you, your voice, the voice of your child, more appropriately. Yeah.
Okay.
So
All
if
right.
you leave me, I'll talk forever. I'll talk
Thank you
forever.
so much,
So
Queenie V. So, viewers, Queenie V has a YouTube channel as well, which is Queenie V Community. And she talks a lot about social work in the UK and things about motherhood. So kindly head there and subscribe to her channel and check out her videos as well. So thank you so very much for your
thank
time,
you.
Queenie V. We've had
Thank
a
you.
great time, great insight
Thank you.
into today's discussion. And somebody asked a question that if a child is in immediate danger, will you take the child away, and how long till they are allowed to go back? I think you've already answered that
Yeah,
when you, yeah, you,
I can just highlight it more again. If a child is in immediate danger, definitely children's services will have to take the child away. Immediate,
okay.
how would you, even if you are not a social worker and a
Mm,
child is in immediate danger, would you leave the child in a danger? Definitely
definitely.
no.
Yeah.
Definitely no. But if your child is removed, it doesn't mean that it's going to be permanent. Permanently be taken into care forever. No,
Mm,
definitely it wouldn't be. I know a friend of mine where there was a danger. The social worker came in, they removed the child. Unfortunately, she cried upon me. I said, calm down and
mm,
work with the social worker. Your child will be returned back. The risk needs to be reduced. Definitely.
mm.
The risk at home or wherever the risk is have to be reduced. And
Right.
your child can be returned back.
Mm. Okay, okay. Thank you very much for that. And I hope your questions have been answered. So thank you, Queenie V, for this
Thank
amazing,
you.
discussion. And viewers, this is the end of today's
Can I
discussion.
say
And I hope,
something, please? Sorry.
yeah, go ahead, go ahead, go
So
ahead.
what we tend to do, obviously myself and I forgot every mom's help. What we're going
Right,
to do, please leave comments. Yeah,
right.
because this today is 12 o'clock. Like we started 12 o'clock, it's now almost 12:30. So what,
Mm,
like we have agreed, they can leave more comments, isn't it?
right.
And then
Yeah,
we'll come back again and answer the questions. Yeah, we'll
definitely,
come back,
definitely. Yeah,
definitely come back
we'll
again.
put it in the comment box. We'll be able to
Mhm.
read it, and then we would get back to you with any
Definitely, we'll
further
come back.
questions. Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
so right. So thank you very much,
thank
and bye. So
you. Thank you.
viewers,
I
have
hope
a
I've
great day.
answered.
Don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you have not already done so. Right. So Queen V, bye. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye for your time. All right. So thank you all so much for staying here to go through this video. And I hope you have learned a lot. Yes, when it comes to child safeguarding and child protection in the UK. So take care of yourselves till we meet again. Keep safe. And it's bye for now from Every Mom's Hub. Bye.